Welcome back, Truth Seeker. September 3rd, 2018. Top news story this morning: Roseanne Barr says she's moving to Israel when The Conners premieres. And The Conners is going to be the spin off of the Roseanne show that she's now no longer a part of. And there's something very interesting about this story coming today and the Conners being emphasized, which we'll get to. But let's just start with today, September 3rd, 2018, the day of this news. If you're not aware, Israel, in its modern form, had its borders set on September 3rd, 1947, 71 years ago today. And Israel and those borders were voted into existence November 29th, 1947, and then Israel became a nation officially May 14th, 1948. But September 3rd, this big anniversary for Israel, and we get this story about an American celebrity who is Jewish moving to Israel. And here's the thing about September 3rd. It's the day leaving 119 days left in the year. Now, Roseanne is a Kabbalist. If you're not aware of this, Roseanne is absolutely a Kabbalist. And I thought I linked it here. Oh, here it is. Article about Roseanne talking about her Jewish heritage and why she practices Kabbalah. This was written in the Times of Israel. If you're not aware, a lot of celebrities are into Kabbalah. The important text to Kabbalah, there's a number of them, but one of the most important texts is the Book of Formation. And it talks about the origins of Kabbalah and some of the core beliefs. And the opening paragraph of the Book of Formation says that God created the world by merging the number with the letter. So in Kabbalah, you study this relationship between letters and numbers and why they matter. I want you to notice that September 3rd is the day leaving 119 days left in the year. 119 days. And consider this was the foundational date for the boundaries of Israel. Foundation has Gematria of 119. Star of David, that's the symbol of Israel. Gematria of 119. Orthodox, as in Orthodox Jews, Gematria of 119. All-Seeing Eye also has that Gematria of 119. Masonic terminology. A lot of overlap with Masonry and Judaism and Kabbalah and the history of the establishment of Israel. Here it is right here, the partition of Israel, September 3rd, 1947. And I'll link this blog post down below so you can look at it on your own computer and blow it up. Probably easier to see in case it's too small, but September 3rd was the date. And not arbitrary that it was September 3rd or 47. In Gematria, Saturn equals 93. Saturn is the keeper of time, very important to the occult. Just like this language of letters and numbers is occult knowledge, meaning hidden knowledge. And Saturn also has Gematria of 119. The difference between these two values is in Francis Bacon Gematria, capital letters matter. In Francis Bacon Gematria, Francis Bacon was a Rosicrucian and a Freemason. If you read about the history of the United States of America, a lot of people say this nation would never exist if Francis Bacon hadn't urged Queen Elizabeth I to finance the movement to establish a colony over here. But anyway, Francis Bacon was a practitioner of this code. And in his cipher, lowercase a through lowercase z is 1 through 26, 26 letters in the alphabet. Uppercase A through uppercase Z is 27 through 52. So, because Saturn, the S is capitalized, essentially you add plus 26 more. 93 plus 26 is 119. Now think about September 3rd. 9/3 like 93, the day leaving 119 days left in the year. Saturn, the keeper of time, special date and time. Now notice time with the alphabetic order equals 47, like how the tropics that measure the solstices, the sun's shortest and longest day of the year for the two hemispheres. The tropics are 47 degrees apart. Just like the Freemason compass in their logo is set at 47 degrees, a tribute to the 47th problem of Euclid about how to establish foundation for a structure. Foundation equals 47 as well. But times 47, and in the Frank Baconis cipher, which is another Francis Bacon cipher, time is 93. The way that cipher works is uppercase A is 1, lowercase a is 2, uppercase B is 3, lowercase b is 4, uppercase C is 5, lowercase c is 6, so on. Time, with a capital T, 93. So you see why they picked this date, September 3rd, 47. Consider also they tell us the sun is 93 million miles away. A discovery made during the Greek Hellenistic period. Hellenistic period equals 93. The Greeks were practitioners of this code. They called it isopsophy, coding numbers and words together. Revelation 13:18 is an isopsophy riddle about the number 666. Isopsophy has gematria of 666. So, with regards to Israel in 93, do you remember this recent death of their former leader, Shimon Peres, at age 93? CNN that day emphasized, we say goodbye to an icon. In the base cipher, the most important of the four, we say goodbye to an icon, 93, the age he died at. 93 is this huge number in Israel. Their equivalent of the U.S. Congress is called Knesset, 93 with the alphabetic order. The leader is Edelstein, 93. You know, their military defense program's called Iron Dome. And there's a whole lot more. It's this real big number with Israel. And we understand why, you know. Show you something really interesting. The day that Obama left the United States to go to Shimon Peres's funeral was September 29th. And world leaders gathered in Israel on September 29th. That's the day leaving 93 days left in the year. They had his funeral the next day, September 30th, which can be written 9/3093. You could also look at it as 30 plus 9, 39, the reflection of 93, 39 books in the Old Testament, the Jewish section. But this is what I want to show you. In Jewish Gematria, which is not a base cipher, but a very important cipher, in the film Gematria, this is the cipher they use. I want you to see this. United States of America sums to 929. September 29th is the day that leaves 93 days left in the year. And the Old Testament, which is 39 books, is 929 chapters long. You know, just in case you're new here, in case you've never seen one of my videos, just look at this dark green cipher. This is the alphabetic order. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, up to Z, the 26 letters, 26. This code of letters and numbers is Gematria, right? 74. English, 74. It's mostly a Jewish practice, 74. It's also a Masonic practice, 74. It's an occult practice, 74. Holiday, 74. Independence Day, 74. The way we write July 4th in the U.S., 7/4. And just ask yourself, does that seem like a coincidence? In this English-speaking nation, we're also largely a Christian nation. Jesus, the central spiritual figure. Notice Jesus is 74. Cross is 74. Messiah is 74. Gospel 74. That's the story of Jesus. Jesus spoke in parables, 74. Look at Jesus Christ. Also in the base cipher, 74. And again, this language is biblical. Could all of these things possibly be a coincidence? Understand, absolutely not. So, coming back to the story about Roseanne and her announcing that she's going to Israel on this date of all days, she's going to go to Jerusalem. I just want you to see that in the base ciphers, the Connors is 58, Roseanne Barr is 58, Jerusalem's 58. Come back over here. Freemasonry is 58, Secret Society, 58, Freemasonry born out of the Rosicrucian Order, 58, Rosicrucian means Rose Cross, which is a symbol of secrecy, also 58, Donald Trump, the 58th, or the winner of the 58th U.S. presidential election, who announced he was running from the 58-story Trump Tower, and then for Inauguration Day hired the 58-year-old Steve Ray. He was in Jerusalem for Jerusalem Day. I mean, come on. You think this is a coincidence? He was wearing his little yarmulkes. He went to the Western Wall by the numbers. I'll also point out that today's date, September 3rd, 2018, has numerology of 50. The Connors also has Gematria 50 in the base ciphers. Again, that's what they emphasized in this story. They emphasized the Connors. Story about her going to Israel and Jerusalem once it comes out. And for the record, America also sums to 50 with the alphabetic order. The 50 states and 1,000,000 territories. But if you are new here, somehow if you're new here, you've never seen my work before, I've been here a long time. I have a relatively new channel because Google's deleted me 20 times. But Google also deleted me while I was finishing my book, which was real nice of them. I announced for people I'd be gone for a couple weeks, putting the final touches on my book, and then while I was gone, they deleted me, which really hurt because I'd worked for 5 years to get nearly 100,000 subscribers, and I wanted to share with them that this book was out that I'd worked on for all those years. And then, lo and behold, I had no YouTube channel to talk to nearly 100,000 people to anymore, and no one to let know that my book was out. And every time I tried to bring my channel back, I would get deleted the next day. I let some time go by. I took about 4 months off from even trying to make a video, and so far they've let my stuff stay up. But the book is out. The book is written for somebody who has no knowledge of Gematria. It's also written for the person who's followed me for 5 years. If you read it start to finish, you're going to catch up to where I am in this study. And you definitely want to be where I'm at in this study. Having this knowledge allows you to see a lot of things in this world that you could otherwise not understand, such as what I just explained here. You want another good one? 119, what's that number make you think of? Does it make you think of anything? I remember what happened after September 11th. Ehud Barak, the leader of Israel, he came over to the United States and he said, "You need to declare a war on terrorism." And lo and behold, Tisha B'Av, which is to remember the destruction of the 2 temples in Jerusalem. Tisha B'Av sums to 911. 911, the destruction of the 2 temples in Jerusalem. The leader of Israel comes over the day after 9/11 and says, "You need to declare a war on terrorism." We had the Skull and Bones member in there, George W. Bush. Skull and Bones gets its symbolism from an ossuary. Ossuary, how you take the bones from a decomposed human body and you put them in a box. And at the end you put the final bones you place in there, the thigh bones, and the skull on top. That's where the Skull and Bones symbolism comes from. Ossuary. Ossuary is the Knights Templar Masonic order. They used to use that to put their dead away. Notice ossuary is also 118. What happens when you write out 41? 41 equals 118. George Herbert Walker Bush, the 41st president. George Herbert Walker Bush, the 41st president, the member of Skull and Bones, who on September 11th, 1990, 11 years to the day, gave the speech about the New World Order, a world freer of terrorism. Notice the 118, like 41, like ossuary. Tomorrow, September 4th, the day leaving 118 days left in the year. We'll see what happens. But you learn the code, you'll learn a whole lot. With regards to September 11th and 119 and 9/3, does 9/3 remind you anything about 9/11? 93 World Trade Center bombing, Flight 93, the first plane to ever crash and leave behind no debris, Pennsylvania. Now they got that building there, One World Trade Center, 93. Could it all be a coincidence? I hope your answer is no. Until next time.